That can in your pantry right now, it might contain a euthanasia drug, the same chemical veterinarians use to put animals to sleep, found in cans labeled premium beef. Or a vitamin dose so dangerously miscalculated, your cat's kidneys are failing before you notice anything's wrong. These aren't sketchy discount brands. These are names you trust, names your vet recommended, names sitting in millions of homes while owners have zero idea what's really inside. In the next 20 minutes, I'm exposing exactly which 10 cat food brands are hiding dangerous contaminants in your cat's bowl, and revealing the only 2 brands I actually trust. Let's go. Brand number 10, Iams. Iams has been feeding American cats since the 1980s. Generations of owners trusted those familiar bags and cans. Veterinarians recommended them. The brand built its entire reputation on science-backed nutrition at a reasonable price. Then 2007 happened, and 2010, and 2011, and 2013. Iams holds one of the worst recall records in the pet food industry. During the massive 2007 melamine crisis, Iams had more products recalled than almost any other brand. 43 different items yanked from shelves after cats and dogs started dying from kidney failure. The contamination came from Chinese suppliers who had fraudulently added industrial chemicals to wheat gluten to fake higher protein readings. Over 100 pets died. Hundreds more suffered permanent kidney failure. But Iams wasn't done. In 2010, they recalled canned cat food for insufficient thiamine, the vitamin deficiency that causes seizures, neck paralysis, and death. That same year, salmonella contamination hit their veterinary formulas. In 2011, aflatoxin, a cancer-causing mold toxin, was found in their products. In 2013, more salmonella. Open a can of Iams and it looks like normal cat food. Smells fine. Your cat eats it happily. But a brand with this many failures across this many years isn't having bad luck, it's having bad systems. When the same company keeps failing different safety tests for different contaminants, the problem isn't one supplier or one batch, it's institutional. For senior cats with weakened immune systems, repeated exposure to even low-level contamination creates cumulative damage. For kittens during critical development windows, thiamine deficiency causes permanent neurological harm. Legacy brand, legacy failures. But at least Iams got caught and issued recalls. The next brand has thousands of complaints and refuses to act. Brand number 9, Friskies. Walk into any grocery store and Friskies dominates the cat food aisle. Those familiar cans have fed generations of cats. Purina's marketing machine has made Friskies synonymous with affordable cat nutrition. Millions of owners grab it without a second thought. Then the complaints started piling up and piling and piling. Online, thousands of cat owners report the same symptoms: violent vomiting, bloody diarrhea, cats who loved Friskies for years suddenly refusing to eat, cats dying within days of opening a new case. The complaints center on specific batch numbers, 1157, 1159, 1161, from certain manufacturing facilities. Petitions with thousands of signatures demanded Purina recall the affected products. Purina's response? There is no problem. The food is safe. No recall necessary. Here's what makes Friskies uniquely troubling. When thousands of owners report identical symptoms linked to specific batch codes, something is wrong. When cats who ate the same food for decades suddenly get sick from new batches, something changed. When owners report their cats dying and Purina insists everything is fine, trust collapses entirely. Open a case of Friskies and check the batch number. Smell the food. Owners report an unusual chemical odor in affected batches. Watch your cat's reaction. If they refuse food they previously loved, pay attention. Cats know when something is wrong before lab tests confirm it. One owner reported her cat dying after 20 years of eating Friskies. The only change was a new batch from the same product line she'd always bought. Thousands of complaints, 0 recalls. When a company is too big to admit problems, every purchase becomes a gamble. But what happens when premium becomes the problem? Drop a comment right now with the brand you're currently feeding. I'll tell you if it made this list.
Brand number 8, Blue Buffalo. You pay premium because you want safety. You grab that Blue Buffalo can expecting cleaner ingredients, higher standards, fewer surprises. The packaging screams quality. The price confirms it. This is supposed to be the responsible choice. Then the lab results came back wrong. In 2010, Blue Buffalo recalled products after excessive vitamin D levels were discovered. Not slightly high, dangerously high. The kind that causes vomiting, lethargy, loss of appetite. The kind that quietly destroys kidneys while your cat looks perfectly fine on the outside. Here's what makes vitamin D poisoning terrifying. The can looks normal, smells normal. Your cat eats it happily. There's no warning sign until blood work shows elevated calcium, elevated phosphorus, and kidney damage that might be already irreversible. For senior cats or cats with existing kidney issues, a single week of eating the wrong batch can mean hospitalization. But it gets worse. Blue Buffalo also settled a massive class action lawsuit after an independent lab found that their no byproduct foods actually contained poultry byproduct meal. The company that built its entire brand on being different from cheap grocery brands was caught using the same ingredients they publicly mocked. One owner told me her senior cat went from stable kidney values to emergency care within 10 days of eating a recalled batch. She'd chosen Blue Buffalo specifically because her vet said it was reliable. Premium label, lab disaster. But at least Blue Buffalo was eventually caught. The next brand turned science itself into a liability.
Brand number 7, Hill's Science Diet. You buy Hill's because your vet said to. The word science is literally in the name. Clinical packaging, research citations, formulas designed for specific health conditions. This isn't grocery store cat food. This is medical nutrition. The kind you trust because professionals trust it. Then the vitamin D disaster proved science doesn't prevent catastrophic failure. Hill's faced multiple recalls tied to elevated vitamin D in canned foods. Not slightly elevated, dangerously elevated levels causing hypercalcemia, kidney damage, and bone weakening. The FDA issued public warnings. Dozens of lot numbers were affected. A brand built on precision delivered doses that could kill. Here's why this is especially cruel in a prescription brand. Owners feeding Hill's often have cats with existing conditions, kidney disease, diabetes, thyroid problems. These cats are already fragile. Their owners are already vigilant. They chose Hill's specifically because their vet said it was safe. Then a premix error sent toxic doses into cans that looked exactly like safe ones. Open a can of Hill's prescription food and everything looks clinical. Smells like the same formula you've fed for months. But inside, vitamin D might be orders of magnitude higher than safe limits. Your cat eats, seems fine. A week later, vomiting starts, lethargy. By the time blood work reveals the calcium spike, kidney damage may be permanent. One owner's cat went from stage 2 to stage 4 kidney disease within 3 weeks of eating a recalled batch. Her vet had recommended the food. The science failed. Clinical label, toxic reality. And if you think a prescription label can't be trusted, hit subscribe so you never miss a warning about the brands cutting corners. Brand number 6, Royal Canin. Royal Canin sells medical precision, veterinary diets formulated for specific conditions, kidney disease, thyroid problems, urinary issues. These aren't foods you grab casually. They're prescribed. Your vet writes it down. Your cat's health depends on the exact nutrient profile inside that bag. Then bags started containing the wrong formula entirely. In 2023, Royal Canin recalled veterinary feline renal support because some bags contained mislabeled product, wrong formula inside right packaging. For a healthy cat, eating a different formula is annoying. For a cat on strict renal management, eating the wrong nutrient profile can be medically dangerous. Here's why mislabeling a prescription diet is medical-grade negligence. Cats on kidney diets require precise phosphorus, sodium, and protein levels. Their medications are calibrated to work with specific nutrient intakes.
When you unknowingly feed the wrong formula, you're changing the chemical environment your cat's treatment depends on. Phosphorus that should be restricted floods the system. Sodium levels shift. Blood pressure changes. Pick up a Royal Canin prescription bag and everything looks correct. Same SKU, same label, same veterinary branding. You fill the bowl believing you're following doctor's orders, but the nutrients entering your cat's system are completely different from what their treatment requires. One owner realized something was wrong when her cat's kidney values suddenly worsened after months of stability. She'd changed nothing. Same schedule, same medications, same bag. The bag she'd bought contained a formula that wasn't what the label said. Prescription precision, mislabeled reality. If prescription food can't be trusted, hit subscribe so you never miss a warning about the brand's cutting corners. Brand number 5, wellness. The holistic pet food movement made wellness a household name. Clean ingredients, no artificial preservatives, premium positioning for owners who wanted better than grocery store options. The brand attracted health-conscious cat owners willing to pay more for peace of mind. Then, the recalls revealed that holistic doesn't mean safe. Wellness has been recalled multiple times. In 2011, thiamine deficiency in canned cat food, the vitamin shortage that causes seizures, paralysis, and death. In 2012, moisture problems leading to mold contamination. In 2017, metal fragments found in canned food produced at their manufacturing facility. Here's what makes wellness failures particularly devastating. Owners chose this brand specifically to avoid the problems of cheaper foods. They researched, they paid more, they trusted the holistic marketing, and they got thiamine deficiency, mold, and metal shards, the same problems plaguing budget brands hiding behind a premium price tag. Open a can of wellness and it looks premium. Smooth pâté texture, real meat smell, the kind of food that makes you feel good about what you're feeding. But thiamine deficiency is invisible. Mold can hide inside smooth textures. Metal fragments might not be obvious until your cat bites down on something that shouldn't be there. One owner fed wellness for years before her cat developed mysterious neurological symptoms. Wobbly walking, neck curving toward the floor. Classic thiamine deficiency signs. By the time she connected it to the food, weeks of damage had accumulated. Holistic label, industrial failures. And if premium isn't safe, wait until you see what happens at the budget end. Brand number 4, Special Kitty. Walmart's store brand promises budget-friendly nutrition for families stretching every dollar, for shelters feeding dozens of cats, for anyone who can't afford premium prices. Special Kitty looks like a practical choice. The packaging suggests it's just as good as name brands at a fraction of the cost. Then the deaths started. Special Kitty has been recalled repeatedly. In 2007, melanin contamination, the same industrial chemical crisis that killed hundreds of pets nationwide. In 2008, salmonella. In 2017, thiamine deficiency. In 2019, a mysterious recall citing only health concerns potentially associated with ingredients without specifying what those ingredients were. Here's what makes that 2019 recall terrifying. When a company won't tell you what's wrong with their food, they're either hiding something awful or they genuinely don't know. Neither option is acceptable when your cat's life is on the line. The recall notice listed symptoms ranging from drooling to death and offered no explanation for what caused them. Here's the dirty secret about store brands. Special Kitty doesn't own the plants. They don't control the suppliers. They contract out to whoever bids lowest. Those plants juggle dozens of brands on the same production lines. When something goes wrong, traceability becomes a nightmare. Which supplier sent the bad batch? Which shift made the mistake? One owner reported multiple cats dying within days of switching to Special Kitty, symptoms matching exactly what the 2019 recall described. Budget brand, budget safety standards. Drop a comment if you've ever had a cat get sick from food on this list. Brand number 3, 9 Lives. Morris the cat made 9 Lives famous. Those commercials promised your cat would love every bite. The brand has been feeding American cats since 1959. Generations of owners trust that familiar packaging. Then the thiamine recalls happened, again and again. 9 Lives has been recalled multiple times for insufficient thiamine, the B vitamin that cats absolutely require to survive. In 2017, multiple varieties were pulled. In 2018, more recalls, the same problem repeated. This isn't a one-time manufacturing slip, it's a pattern. Here's what makes repeated thiamine failures unforgivable. This isn't a mysterious contamination from an unknown source. This is a vitamin that's supposed to be added during manufacturing. When a company keeps failing to add adequate thiamine, they're failing at the most basic level of pet food production. It's like a bread company repeatedly forgetting to add flour. Thiamine deficiency doesn't change how the food looks or smells. The pâté has a normal sheen. The familiar smell is exactly what your cat expects. But if the thiamine levels are wrong, every meal is slowly starving their nervous system. Vomiting and weight loss come first. Then the wobbling starts. Your cat can't walk straight. They seem confused, disoriented. Left untreated, neurological damage sets in. Some of it never fully heals. The neck paralysis, called ventroflexion, is a classic sign. But by that point, recovery requires immediate veterinary intervention and weeks of intensive supplementation. One owner's cat developed seizures after weeks on 9 Lives. The vet immediately asked what food she was feeding. Classic thiamine deficiency, the vet said, entirely preventable. Legacy brand, repeated failures. But if a single brand scares you, wait until you see the company behind dozens of them. Brand number 2, Purina, Beyond, Fancy Feast, Pro Plan. Purina is everywhere. Beyond, Friskies, Fancy Feast, Pro Plan, they make dozens of formulas across every price point. The company has been making pet food for over a century. Their scale means they feed more cats than almost any other manufacturer on Earth. That scale is both a convenience and a danger. Purina's recall history includes salmonella contamination and foreign material findings across multiple product lines. When you produce billions of servings yearly, even a tiny percentage of contaminated product means millions of affected meals. The odds of your cat eating a bad batch increases with every can you buy. Here's the math that should scare you. Purina's market share means a single contamination event exposes more cats than any boutique recall ever could. One ingredient slip from one supplier ripples across dozens of products sold under different names. By the time quality control catches it, millions of cans have shipped. Your cat might be eating recalled food before the announcement even goes public. Open any Purina product and it looks like the same food your cat has eaten for years, but salmonella doesn't change appearance. Foreign material, plastic, metal, rubber, might not be visible until your cat chokes on it or passes it painfully. The sheer volume of production means quality control gaps are statistical inevitabilities, not rare accidents. One owner's cat developed seizures after weeks on Purina. The cat reported that they were only feeding a single batch. Massive scale, massive risk. Subscribe now so you never miss a recall that could save your cat's life. Because the #1 brand on this list didn't just fail at manufacturing, they put a euthanasia drug in cans labeled premium beef. Brand number 1, Avengers. Every brand on this list failed in some way. Vitamin errors, contamination, thiamine deficiency. But Avengers didn't just fail at manufacturing. They put a euthanasia drug in food labeled as premium beef. In 2017, Avengers recalled products after testing found pentobarbital, the drug veterinarians used to put animals to sleep. One dog died after eating their hunk of beef product. 5 others in the same household became severely ill. Further FDA testing found pentobarbital in 13 out of 14 samples tested across multiple lots and multiple products. The contamination wasn't a single bad can, it was systemic. The FDA investigation also discovered horse DNA in food labeled as beef, not beef from the wrong cut, not beef that was slightly off spec. Horse, an entirely different animal hidden inside cans sold as premium American beef. Here's what makes this the worst entry on this list. Pentobarbital in pet food means euthanized animals entered the food supply. Animals that were put to sleep with this drug, likely horses, possibly cattle, ended up ground into cans that your cat eats from every day. Avengers blamed their supplier. The FDA inspected that supplier and found systems actually in place to prevent euthanized animals from entering the food chain. Meanwhile, FDA inspectors found conditions at Avanger's own facility that tell the real story. Peeling paint on walls near food processing, mold growing in production areas, lack of proper refrigeration for raw meat, an open sewer within 25 feet of food storage. This company had marketed itself for 82 years as producing human-grade food with USDA-inspected ingredients. The FDA found their beef was labeled inedible, not fit for human consumption. Oral exposure to pentobarbital causes drowsiness, dizziness, loss of balance, inability to stand, in severe cases, coma and death. The symptoms mimic what you'd expect from a euthanasia drug because that's exactly what it is. The owner whose dog died had been feeding what she thought was the best food on the market, human grade, USDA inspected, family owned since 1935. She ended up essentially euthanizing her own pet with the food she bought to keep him healthy. Premium promises, lethal reality. For 82 years, Avengers operated without a recall. Then one dog died and the entire safety theater collapsed. The brands I actually trust. Go check your pantry right now. If you see IAMS, Friskies, Blue Buffalo, Hills, Royal Canin, Wellness, Special Kitty, 9 Lives, Purina, or Avengers, don't finish the can. Don't use up the bag. Your cat's health isn't worth a few dollars left in that container. 10 brands, 10 betrayals, but 2 brands prove that clean, safe cat food still exists. Safe pick number 2, Koha. After everything we just exposed, you need a brand that keeps things brutally simple, and Koha does exactly that. Single protein recipes, 1 meat source per can so you know exactly what your cat is eating. If your cat has allergies, sensitivities, or unexplained digestive issues, limited ingredients mean limited variables. You can actually identify what works instead of guessing through a wall of chemicals. No gum thickeners, no xanthan, guar, or locust bean gum irritating sensitive systems, no artificial preservatives, no sodium-loaded flavor enhancers stressing aging kidneys, just meat, broth, and nutrients, the kind of simple your great-grandmother would recognize. Open a can and notice the difference immediately. Smooth pâté without artificial gel consistency, real meat smell, not synthetic masking. High moisture content, typically 78 to 82%, meaning hydration with every single meal. For senior cats who've stopped drinking enough, for cats with kidney concerns, that moisture isn't a bonus feature, it's medicine hiding in food. Koha manufactures in US and Canadian facilities with batch testing for bacterial contamination and heavy metals. Nutrient verification on every lot prevents the vitamin disasters we saw with Hills and Blue Buffalo. Expect $2.50 to $3.50 per 5.5-ounce can, more than grocery brands, worth every single penny compared to the vet bills from contaminated food. Safe pick number 1, Tiki Cat After Dark. If Koha is clean simplicity, Tiki Cat After Dark is clean abundance. Whole animal ingredients you can actually identify when you open the can, not mystery meat byproducts. Actual chicken hearts, gizzards, livers, parts containing natural taurine without synthetic supplementation. This is what your cat's biology was designed to process. Around 80% moisture in natural broth. For senior cats who've stopped drinking enough, for cats with kidney concerns, this hydration makes a measurable clinical difference. Kidneys flush waste easier, digestion moves smoother, urinary issues become less likely. No heavy thickeners, no carrageenan, no excessive gums. The whole ingredient approach doesn't require chemical assistance to hold together. Open a can and actual meat smell hits you, not flavor compounds engineered in a lab. Shredded texture, not paste. Real organ meats. The natural aroma triggers appetites that processed pâtés can't match. For picky seniors who've lost interest in eating, this brings them back. For diabetic cats, carbohydrate content is essentially zero. No rice, potato, or corn hiding under grain-free labels. Blood sugar stays stable. For overweight cats, the protein-to-fat ratio supports lean muscle without empty calories. Tiki Cat After Dark runs $2 to $3 per 2.8-ounce can. Premium pricing for actual food, not filler extended with gums and water. 10 brands, 10 betrayals. The truth is simple. Not every can is created equal. Your cat depends on you to fill that bowl with something safe. What's the worst cat food disaster you've experienced? Drop your story below. Let's see how many of us have been fooled. Thanks for watching. Check those pantry shelves and keep rising.